Hello everyone. I picked up a couple of iMacs today, rather 3 iMacs, completely free, and kind of funny, they were given to me at one point, I gave them away, and now they have been given back to me. Kind of interesting. I'll get into that in a little bit later. First of all, if you're new to this channel, you just found this by searching free iMac, this is not a professionally done channel. I just point the camera and talk. I rarely edit the videos, so if that's not something you're into, then, well, you've been advised. So, let's talk about what's up on the desk right now. 3 iMacs. All of them, as far as I can tell, from just a quick glance at the bases, are 2009s. Could either be early or late 2009s, I'm not sure. Around the back, they are all going to be the same. Let's just take a look at one of them because, well, they're the same. Pretty standard assortment of ports, or rather the only assortment of ports you can get on a 2009 iMac. 4 USB 2.0s, audio, FireWire 800, mini DisplayPort, and gigabit Ethernet. This is, of course, a blackback iMac, as the all the 2007s, 8s, and early 2009s were. I may have misspoke just a couple seconds ago. I said this could be a late 2009. Late 2009 was 27-inch. This is early 2009. That also means it'll either have a 2.0, 2.26, or a 2.66 gigahertz CPU, depending on if it's the education model or just the regular consumer model. So let's take a look at that right now. So this one's a 2.66, shipped with 4 gigs of RAM. Pretty neat. 320 gig hard drive. Awesome. And we'll get to the other ones in just a moment. First, a quick little bit of information about how I acquired these. I worked at a college for a little over 4 years. Was it under 4 years? Doesn't matter. And I was able to take home pretty much anything I wanted from the recycle bin. And there was one year, well, rather a couple months, where we got so many iMacs that needed to be recycled, and I definitely shoved as many as I could into the back of my car and brought them home and dispersed them. One of them, another 2009, ended up in my parents' workshop as a basic, look stuff up, play some music, play some Netflix machine. And it worked really well until I upgraded them to something a little bit newer for the workshop. And that came here, I refurbed it, and I sold it pretty much immediately, which was cool. So that's where they originally came from. These 3 in particular went to my former boss, where I used to work at the computer repair shop. I brought all 3 of these to him. One of them, and I don't know which one, I would probably say this one because it looks the cleanest, at least as far as the screen goes. One of them was used every single day, used for Netflix mostly, downloading things, downloading software, and backing up customer data to it. When there was a FireWire equipped Mac, it was often easier to just back up data or transfer data to it through FireWire. So that's what one of these got used for. The other 2, not really sure. It looks like, at least before I rubbed it against my shirt, this one was very dusty, and this one was quite dusty. So, I don't know what condition these are in right now, but that's what we're going to take a look at in this video. I took a quick look at the bottom feet, well, the feet of both of these other iMacs. This one is well, they're all 2.66 gigahertz. This particular one that we're looking at right here only shipped with 1 stick of 2 gig DDR3, and the others shipped with 2 sticks to total 4 gigs of RAM. So for no particular reason, we're going to take a look at this one first because it was on the left, and I've plugged in the keyboard, and we're just going to plug in the power. Now, with all these, I have absolutely no idea what condition they're in, as I already said. So that one is going to turn on. There it goes. I don't know if 2 of these were used, so we'll see if they still have either nothing on them or the base install of 1011 that I probably put on there. And so far, oh, there it goes. Took a little bit. Looking good. So on these 2009 iMacs, one of the most common issues that I see, because I work on these at work, I do refurbishment, is from about here out on the screen all the way around the screen will be normal brightness, and the entire middle, so from right here to about right there, kind of this blob in the middle is a darker color. I'm not sure what causes it. Maybe it's moisture, maybe it's just bad LCDs, but it's been an issue on, I'd say, at least 60% of the units I've ever worked on, and that is many hundred of them, by the way. But this one doesn't seem to have that issue, so that's kind of cool. And we're getting ready. Alright, so this looks like it was the one that was used. So I can tell, because I made these folders many years ago, that this was at one point going to be used as our eBay listing station before the shop got moved and that kind of went away. So I made a couple folders for eBay listed and everything. Over here though, it looks like it has been used for other things. I know my boss was messing around with, making installers and customizing them. This also looks like some customer data on there, which we will get rid of at some point. Also looks like it was used for music and has some antivirus, has VLC. So I'm just going to click on this, see if there's anything interesting. Photos library, downloads, some probably less than legitimate movies on here, but nothing really to write home about. So this at one point was used as my boss's main machine for media consumption and the like. Let's see if it's weird, the white balance, or rather the brightness of this video has gone way down. So this has been upgraded quite a bit. This now has 8 gigs of RAM. I've never installed more than 4 in one of these older iMacs, so that's quite a surprise. It is the 2.66. I believe the difference between the 2.0 the 2.0/226 and the 2.66, besides of course the CPU, is that the former two were education only models, so they didn't have Bluetooth and they were a little less powerful. And this model, most likely, I'll confirm that in a minute, does have Bluetooth and shipped with a little more RAM, a little more hard drive. Let's see what we got here for storage. Yeah, 320. I think the other ones only shipped with a 160 gig, as well as only 2 gigs of RAM in the form of 2 1 gig sticks, whereas this one had 2 2s and now it has 2 4s. So this is actually quite a usable machine, given its age. May try to install something else on here, something a little more recent, as I think I can get High Sierra working on here, even though it's an unsupported Mac, using what is conveniently right here, the High Sierra patcher. So maybe I'll give that a shot, maybe not. Let's go ahead and take a look at the other 2 units and see what they have to offer. So here's the other iMac. I just plugged it in and we'll give it a power on here. And this one right away, so you can see that on camera, kinda. I'm gonna see that brighter spot out here, dimmer in the center. This one I can hear has a CD in it. Very, very common of these iMacs to have. Like I said, about 60% that I've worked on all have that same issue. Fortunately, it's not really that much of an issue. These are probably never being used for graphics editing or anything, video editing, anything like that, so not a huge deal. Perfectly fine for some basic web browsing, etc. Wonder what CD is in here. No idea. So it looks like either there's a defect in the screen or the screen has been taken off and that's dust, but there's a little bit of gunk under there. This one right away, hello, popped up photo booth. So I'm curious if this has ever been re-imaged since I gave it to my boss so many years ago. AM Scope X. This, oh wait, no, this is something I did. I remember this. We got a microscope, and it was supposed to be compatible with Mac OS, which I think it was. There it is. But for some reason we never ended up really using it all that much, but this was set up at the microscope station. And I remember setting this up now. Yes. So that's what this was used for. Again, never really saw that much use. It was just easier to look through the viewfinder of the microscope itself and not through the camera through here. But yeah, that's what this was used for. So this is the same model. It's only got 4 gig of RAM. Don't believe it's ever been connected to the internet because it just says iMac. It doesn't tell me what it is. Same GPU, same CPU, of course. The is it a E8135 2.66? I think the 2.0 is a Core 2 Duo P7350. The 2.0 is the P7350. 2.26 is the 7550, and this one would have been the E8135. Interesting, there was also a 2008 model of the 20-inch iMac that had an E8135, but it was only clocked at 2.4 gigahertz. Kind of interesting tidbit there. So yeah, this was never really used for anything. That's kind of a... well, I don't really know what I was expecting, but I guess that's all we got from this one. On to the last one. And here's the third iMac with greasy fingerprints galore. My goodness, that screen is dirty. Let's power it up and see what it can do. This one has a little bit of scratching on the screen, maybe. No, maybe it's just gunk. Taking a look at this screen looks perfectly healthy. No issues with the dimming in the center. Oh, there's a scratch right there. Kind of see that there. Yeah, a little rainbowy effect going on there. So minor scratch, not really of any concern. This one, though, does seem to be a little dim, or rather bright in the corners. I haven't seen very many with the bright corners and dim-er center. Usually it's the entire outside ring that is brighter in the middle that's dim. So it's kind of uncommon for one of these, but I'm sure as it warms up, it'll be just fine. It's interesting so far, all of these iMacs are, they seem to have actually seen some use, which is not what I was expecting. Uh-oh. Password. Or D. Did I do that right? In this video, I type the word password. Alright, so there is a password on this one. Is it just owner? Admin. Pass. Well, don't know what this password is. Honestly, not all that important because, well, you just saw the other two iMacs and this one is almost identical. In fact, it is identical in every way except possibly the RAM. So there's those three iMacs. Now, what are we going to do with these three iMacs? Well, ultimately I'm going to refurbish all of them, give them a good cleanup. Yeah, clean them up, make sure they have a fresh install of something on them. Probably El Cap, just because it's quick and easy. But I might do High Sierra as well. I'm going to, probably in this video actually, experiment a little bit with installing High Sierra on one of these. I'm fairly certain it can be done. I don't think there's any GPU limitation there, as there were with, for example, the 2010 iMac can't run Catalina, for example, because the GPU. I don't think that's an issue with this model. So I'm going to go ahead and, well, why not? We'll use this one because it's already up here. And I will get out my High Sierra patched installer and see what I can do with this particular iMac. Alright, so I made a decision. instead of trying to install High Sierra on here, because, you know, there's videos of that being done. We know it's possible. Well, should be possible. And it's going to run like garbage. Let's do something a little bit more fun. Instead, we're going to install 10.6 Snow Leopard on here. I have the USB in now, and there is an issue sometimes we have to, disconnect the USB, plug it back in for it to be recognized. It only does that on some of these older Macs, iMacs and MacBook Pros, and I'm not sure why. But regardless, there we go. Now the boot menu came up, and we're booting from USB. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get this installed. It's going to take a little while, but I think it'll be fun to do. And yeah, that's my only plan. That's all I'm going to do with this iMac. Gonna get Snow Leopard installed, poke around a little bit, and I guess that'll be it. So let's see how the installation goes. Go to Disk Utility and erase this disk. Erase the disk? No? Yes, there. Macintosh HD. Erase that shit. Don't know what was on there. In fact, I should have looked at how much was used to see if there's anything. Maybe this was used for, I don't know, storing a lot of stuff, but that is all gone now. Doesn't really matter. I've only installed Snow Leopard from a USB just a handful of times, but I remember it is quite fast to do, which is very nice. Just because we're not going to use this installation, I'm going to remove all of that to make this as quick as possible. And then we'll be back in what is less than 19 minutes. The installation has finally completed. That only took 10 minutes or so. Now it's time to restart, and again, look at me in the reflection. And listen to the intro music, because who doesn't love some Snow Leopard intro music? I know I love it. Hello, computer. I don't think my keyboard pressing had anything to do with it coming on, but there we are. Anytime I install Snow Leopard on a more modern Mac, meaning, well, something of this era, I suppose, I'm always surprised at how quickly it boots up. A lot of times, yeah, I guess I've grown accustomed to running the most recent OS that these things can run, which in this case is LCAP, or on newer Macs running High Sierra. And the systems feel a bit sluggish, but with Snow Leopard, it's quite zippy. Let's pump this music. Enough stupid dancing. Let's get this thing set up. Set it up as a brand new Mac. And using, we won't do internet right now. Using a very nice tip from the channel This Does Not Compute, I can press Command Q here and skip inputting all that information. We'll just be owner and no password because we don't have to. Oh, This will be Mac. Ah, there we go. And just like that, we should be ready to go. Much nicer setup process than more recent macOS versions. Takes a lot less time to get you going. And there we are. There's the Snow Leopard desktop. Get the glare off the screen there. Looking as nice as ever. So we didn't look at the information on this one yet, so this one is exactly the same as the previous one that we looked at. 2.66, 4 gig of RAM, and a 320 gig hard drive. Right there. Bluetooth. Yep. Has Bluetooth. 9400. Yep. So, yeah. That is this iMac. I don't really know what else to do with it at the moment. With 2 of these, I'm just going to refurbish them and get them out the door. But the second iMac we took a look at, one with 8 gig of RAM, probably hang on to that one for a little bit, do some, I don't know, messing around with it, see what I can do. Ultimately, I won't be keeping it because I don't need it. I've had so many of these through the workshop down here that I couldn't think of anything to do with them then, and I can't think of anything now. It might be interesting to install some games on here, but ultimately I don't know if that'll happen. So with that said, let's go ahead and shut this down, and I think that will be all for this video. So that was taking a look at 3 iMacs that I picked up for free. Then they were given away and they came back to me, which kind of interesting line of events going on there. And they are taking up space, so I do have to get these out of here at some point. I think I might get started on that now. I have a pre-built image of LCAP that I can just use target disk mode and install it to 2 of these iMacs in target disk mode and get those out of here. And then this one, well, this one to my right, I will keep for further messing around. So, I want to thank you all for watching if you stuck with me this far. It hasn't been the most interesting of videos, but I know people like taking a look at free stuff that I got, so that's exactly what this video was. As always, guys, hope you enjoyed watching, and we'll see you in the next video.